everybody, it's Thursday and a special edition of Building Wins Live. Randy Chafee here, your host, and look forward to a great conversation today with a couple I've got to know originally via LinkedIn. And the Huffers are going to be on, husband and wife team, and we're going to chat about a lot of things marketing oriented, social media oriented, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So hang on, we'll be right back. There they
Hey,
are.
Randy.
Hey there.
Leslie,
Hey.
Brady, how are you, my friends?
We're doing great. How are
Great.
you?
I'm doing well. I'm going to beg everybody's indulgence if I have a cough or two. I'm a little battling a little virus here, but so I'll do my best.
Okay.
But the show must go on. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I read that somewhere. I think I made that up. I'm going to coin that one for myself.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I know you guys had to hustle around to get ready for this with your other careers, but
Yeah.
So before we get started, give us a little bit of background of who's Leslie and Brady. You tell us a little bit about who you guys are. Obviously, I think I mentioned that you're a married couple doing some business together, and but who's the Huffers? I know where you're from and all that, but tell our viewers where you're from, what you do, how you got where you're at today, and what your future looks like, and whatever people might want to know about you.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks for having us on. We're excited to be here. So as you said, we're a married couple. We have been married almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years this summer. So I'm Leslie Huffer, and my full-time job is actually I'm a special ed teacher. And you can go and share what you're.
Yeah, so my name is Brady Huffer. Really happy to be married, close to 3 years.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Good move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full-time job is sales, part-time job, videographer, video editor, social media management, such as YouTube.
Yeah.
So just everything online.
So yeah, we have our full-time jobs, but we've also started our own side business. Probably about a year into marriage, we kind of realized we had like our own gifting that could actually really help businesses with a lot of their online stuff. And so that was back in 2019. And as we know, 2020 was a year where a lot of businesses had to kind of pivot and adapt. And so we were able to help a lot of businesses really kind of with the digital landscape and keep reaching people and keep growing, even though kind of the world shut down outside our doors, but online, business was still going and growing. And so it's been fun. So like Brady said, we do SEO, we do blogging, paid ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Brady does videography and YouTube management. And it's just been really fun to meet other business owners and connect with people. And with, technology, we can talk to people across state lines. It's cool. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So you've had obviously a love for that area prior to just diving in, I assume. I assume you just didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I think we're going to be social media experts. You had some you have some background, I suppose, and just as everybody today, you kind of become it's easier to become an expert, I guess, than it used to be because we spent so much time doing it. But what made you decide to get into this?
Yeah, good question. So coming out of college, I had always kind of blogged and I've always really loved writing. And I kind of realized not everyone likes to write, which is funny to me. So businesses need that content out there. They need to get their messaging out there, but they don't really, first of all, enjoy doing it, but also don't have the time or the bandwidth to do it. So that's kind of how the business started, was just with me kind of doing some copywriting for businesses. And then because of my love of writing since I was younger, I just realized I've always loved it. And then, like I said, people are like, we'll pay you for that. I'm like, you will. So kind of a business was born out of that. And it was just a small little thing. And then probably about 6 months in, I would say we realized like, hey, Brady's been doing videos for, his whole life.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
We were watching some home videos. There was the video I made when I was 5.
Yeah,
so.
It's always kind of love his and just like a really natural gifting and kind of that creative mind. So then what we've realized, kind of getting into this world, which is through the blogging initially, was like, hey, people really need, content. They need the visual content. They need photos and videos. And so he kind of came on board with that. And then I would say kind of once I said like 2020 hit and the pandemic and everything like that, we realized that A lot of businesses could really use paid advertising and also some social media management just to kind of get their messaging out there and keep it out there in front of the right people, and how it's a lot more cost effective than, paper flyers or newsletter, like newspaper things and all of that. So we were able to really help people, like I said, pivot their businesses that have maybe done it, door to door knocking or put a flyer in the mailbox or whatever for years. We're able to see, hey, there's really an impact by reaching people digitally, and you can actually really remarket to people too that you couldn't do before. So there's a lot that we've learned, and we've, been able to, like I said, help people, which is really why we started this. That's kind of like our heart behind it, is we really like to help people, and it's like to use our natural gifting to help other people has been really fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, with your background there, Leslie, and then Brady with your background of sales, that brings two different platforms or views or ideas into the picture, so you can bounce things off of each other. And the thing I kind of see is people are obviously getting the Hey Huffer team, right? They're not just getting Brady, or they're not just getting Leslie. They're getting the team, and it might work way more with Leslie and way less with Brady, and the next customer might be just the reversal based on what that customer needs, right?
Absolutely. And we're kind of each other's biggest cheerleaders, which is fun too, So we, if Brady makes a video, I'm like, that's the best video, I could really make a blog with that, and vice versa. So, and that's what we've done a lot of too. I know we were kind of talking before about repurposing content, but just like we work with a lot of businesses who they might need a video about a certain topic, and then I can take that video and turn it into a blog post. So that really kind of uses both of our skill sets and gets the messaging out there to two different types of people, those that like to watch video and those that like to read it. So that's been really fun too, to collaborate on projects. And I've been going with him to some video shoots and, learning all the lighting and all of that fun stuff. So it's been good.
That's interesting. And it's interesting what you said is that different people like different medium, right? I mean, not everybody likes to read. Not everybody wants to read a blog. And surprisingly, I guess not everybody likes to look at video. Even that's a little odd to me, because it seems like everybody wants to look at a video, right? But so the advantage is that I would assume is by touching all the touch points that are available out there, your chance of reaching as large a population is drastically increased. Am I wrong?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think like kind of going off what you said with our backgrounds, I think my background in education, specifically special education, I learned, all the different types of learners and how people like to ingest information is so different. So I'm able to help businesses, educate on what their mission is. And then Brady's background in sales is able to help them guarantee those sales through it too. So we've kind of used both of our backgrounds to bring, to the table and help with that digital marketing piece. So it's been really fun. Yeah. Like you said, everyone kind of likes information presented differently to them. So by hitting all those touch points, we're really reaching a much broader net of people, I think. Which is nice.
You do a lot in the, if I remember correctly, a lot in the construction industry world, probably not maybe 100%, but that's a pretty strong area for you guys. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think when we first started, we were targeting health wellness and just because we're interested in that and we thought that was a good area to target. But then as we kind of got more into this and we realized, what industries have been doing it a certain way for so long and maybe need to adapt a little bit. And we're first approached with the real estate industry and kind of got into that. And then through that, we're like, what if we expanded and we're like anything to do with the home, right? Like contractors, construction. That's such a huge industry where I feel like they're so busy. They don't have time to be updating their websites. They don't have time to manage social media channels. They don't have time to make and edit videos and tag them with the right, keywords and all of that stuff. It's a lot to take on top of everything else. And that learning curve is huge. And so just kind of alleviating those really busy overall business owners that know they should be doing that and having their, digital footprint out there, but don't have the time and the hours in the day to do it. So we really come alongside those professionals and really, help them with all of the digital stuff.
Yeah, they just put so much attention to detail on their regular job, and then they got to do this extra stuff that can get time consuming, and that's where we want to step in.
And it's kind of like they're experts in roofing, they're experts in countertops, they're experts in cabinets or whatever it is, and we can be the experts in it. So that's been kind of fun too, to kind of, help them with reaching more people.
Well, and I think it's interesting because, like Brady, like you just said, the most people are not social media experts. They're, as a matter of fact, they're not even. I still think there's it seems to me, and you correct me if I'm wrong, and Wes would correct me if I'm wrong too. He does that now and then, but there seems to still not be as many people that grasp the use and the incredible high value of using digital, using social media as an augmentation to what you're doing to build your business. I think a lot of people just look at it as, and I'm gonna throw an opinion out and correct me if I'm wrong or tell me I'm right. There's a prize if I'm right. So, is that you get tremendously more back from what you throw out there than you think you're going to get. And if you don't really, I guess, play in the game, you're just playing, right? I mean, you have to really be in the game on a daily basis, right? This is not something where I guess I'm going is, well, I think I should probably throw something on Facebook. I guess I'll dig up some. Oh, that's a funny meme. I'll share that and throw it on Facebook. There, I did my social media thing for the day. That's not really being a social media or a social seller, right? I mean, you haven't even started with just doing that, right?
Right. Do you want to take this or you want me to take it?
You can take it. Yeah.
So I think like a lot of it is like building like kind of a strategy behind it, because you don't ever want to come across as salesy, but like you want to really engage. Like this is a way where you can really directly engage with your audience, your clients, your potential clients. So helping them kind of build their strategy, not like you said, just kind of randomly posting here and there, but like really putting their best foot forward and being present. And like I said, it's such a direct link to their clientele that it's really powerful that, we have this, that we can just, in a few clicks, we can be connected to our clients. Like that's, for on their behalf. So it's kind of cool, that you can do that. But like you said, it has to have some strategy. It can't just be like, I kind of feel like posting a funny meme, every few weeks. Like that's not going to really move well for the businesses.
Yeah, we got to drive the behavior.
Yeah. And there's a lot of ways to do that, tips and tricks and stuff.
So you got to be engaged and be present every day. It's almost like I remember people back when they were in our industry actually starting to have this brilliant idea that we're going to have a website, right? And everybody thought they did the website, and the day they released it, we're done. No, you just started. Right? Because in my opinion, and that I'd like your take is, in social media, I think it even more so is. That's got to be a living thing that's literally living and dying by the moment, right? Almost not certainly not by the weeks and months. I mean, you got to keep those things fresh, updated, and always be current. And I feel that way with websites. But boy, social media is so. At least my take is so right now. I mean, it's what have you shown me in the last 12 seconds, because I'm going to be on to 748 different clicks between now and then, right? So you better show me something, Randy, right now, or I already forgot about you again, right? Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely, yeah.
I was to say, keeping up with the trends online. I don't know if you guys have ever checked out Google Trends. You just type in what's trending, and just being a part of that trending culture, I guess, online.
Yeah,
it's just a good way to promote your business. You can carry on.
Show that you're like,
show them you're engaged with topics.
Yeah, and you kind of know, where they're at, and meeting your clients where they're already hanging out. They're hanging out online, right? Like that's the best thing you can do is show up, like you said, know what's going on, and be there in the moment. It's not something you can do 2 weeks down the road. You have to kind of be more present with it, and not all business owners have the bandwidth to do that all day, right? They're busy doing their job, so that's kind of what we come alongside.
So meet them where they hang out. Tell me what that means.
So, I mean, so I think what we saw last year was the businesses who really were able to manage, the social media and, the digital ads and all of that stuff. They were able to reach their clients where they were hanging out, which, when we were all on lockdown, we were all on our phones, right? So there wasn't the door-to-door salesman. There wasn't people, like I said, getting flyers in the mail or whatever. It was such a different kind of a thing. Everybody was really cautious about distance and germs and all of that. So that's when people who were really putting some good content out there were seeing some return on it, and they're still seeing that return on it, right? So it's just like, it's kind of building that momentum online and continuing to, serve their clients where they're hanging out, which even still, people are hanging out on their phones nonstop, right?
Yeah.
So really being able to target them and kind of where they're at. And it's crazy how well you can target people. It's really insane how, and the other thing too is like, a lot of times businesses might invest in a billboard, which isn't a bad thing, but you drive by the billboard and you never know if you see those people again, that drove by it. But if you're able to do ads, you can target them and then retarget them. So you can kind of remind them about the ad, kind of hopefully not so salesy way, but just kind of give them a nudge. Like, hey, don't forget about this. This deal's ending, in 2 days, or, extra 50% off, or whatever it looks like. Just kind of get that conversion online. But it's easier.
I mean, billboards, they work. It's just there's no control of who's seen that billboard. Another thing we can do in these marketing campaigns that we set up is we could target particular clients, potential clients, their age, a certain demographic. That's what makes it so powerful.
The marketing and the remarketing is really the big piece that you miss out on that when it's paper, when it's door to door, when it's something you drive by, so it's really cool that you can do that.
So that's what happens sometimes. We've all had it. That I look at a site or I click on a Facebook ad. I'm interested just for a second, and all of a sudden I am seeing ads for that type of product from that company and 790 million other companies all day long, right? Forever. So that's what people like what you do or could help your clients do is once for example, one of my customers that let's say handles stone coated metal shingles. If they had a program where every time you click on anybody's stone coated metal shingle, every time that homeowner now, that's all they're going to see is that every day. If we follow some protocols that you guys can put into place, am I close or no?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's something it's called the pixel. So it picks up when you go to different websites or search different things on Google, and it can it sounds crazy, and it is kind of crazy, but it can kind of follow you around the internet, and kind of remind you. And so I think there's good ways of doing that. I think there's salesy ways of doing that. And so we try to really, encourage our clients to do, in a way that's helpful to their potential client and not annoying, because it can sometimes be annoying, right? So there's good ways of,
But,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say a way to come off not salesy is being an expert in your field and giving, I won't say free advice, but giving some advice about the industry. That's what we're using currently with a marketing campaign with one of our
really
clients.
Serving the clients well by giving them some good, like you said, up-to-date content. And so it should be helpful more than anything.
Sharing their knowledge.
Yeah. And then building the brand awareness and the credibility, because it's a way for people to like, know, and trust you a lot quicker when they see things online.
Correct. Yeah, I'm glad you reiterated that, because you'd mentioned it 3 times, and I love that term of not being too salesy, because we're all in the world of sales here. I happen to be a believer that everybody is in the world of sales technically. But with that said, we get to carry a title too, I guess, of sales of some sort. But the absolute last thing, and it's more and more today than it ever was, I think, is nobody wants to deal with a salesman, right? They don't want that salesy, what's in it for me? I don't care about you. I just want to ram down your throat and make a commission. And if you can come across as the polar opposite, and Brady, I think you hit on it. I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing. Of course, I like the business, but more than anything, I just want to be here to help you. And maybe I can answer a couple of questions. And probably at the end of the day, if I can answer a couple of questions and make you feel comfortable, maybe we have something that we can do business together with, right? And that's the way that process, in my opinion, is the only way it's going to work today. And it sounds like you agree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think what drew us to the home industry, whether it's the home improvement or real estate or whatever, is a lot of companies within there are super visual and relational, and I think that's important. I think that's why we like to do the videography and the ads and all of that stuff, because I think that's important to really build that relationship with them. But also the visual piece of it, Brady can take an idea and blast it out to so many people because he has a video of it. He can show people, when the world shut down, people weren't able to walk through homes the same way or see, model homes or examples of what they could be buying for their home, which their home is one of their biggest investments of their life, right? So it's something that you really need to build the trust with. And I think one way to do that and to build that credibility too is by having videos. And a lot of business owners now, and you're doing obviously a good job of this, is showing their face, right? Like getting yourself out there. And it can be awkward at first to put yourself on camera, but we've seen a really good return on it for a lot of our clients. So yeah,
that's awesome. So the how much of, because I know there's differing opinions on this, how, and you sort of touched on it, but as a guy that digs social media, digs the whole virtual video thing, how much do I want you as my potential customer to get to know me personally versus just Randy, this rep guy that sells these different products? You know, hopefully an expert in my industry, but how much is that personal? Here's my dog. You know, here my buddy's having a couple of beers at the water. How, in your opinion, how important is a one versus the other, or is it a cross section of equal importance to build the whole?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you want to take it? Or
you got it.
So I think it's, you know, I think there's like a healthy balance of the two. You know, for us, we have our personal social media channels and we also have our business social media. But what we've been trying to do is put a little bit more of ourselves to our business, because I think as people learn, you know, that we are a married couple, that, you know, I think my background in education and Brady's background in sales actually built our credibility. For so long, I would kind of like downplay the part. And then I'm like, well, you know what, like, people, you know, trust teachers, you know, people know teachers. And, you know, I think people trust when they find out that we're a married couple and they kind of, you know, see pictures of us in action and kind of doing our thing. I think it builds trust a lot faster. So we don't share everything by all means on our business pages, but I think we try to share enough. People can kind of get an idea of our quality of work and quality of character, you know, that we're trustworthy. We run our business with integrity and all of that too. So
I think relatability is important. We're not just driving up in fancy, you know, cars, Ferraris.
We're just real people and
elaborate mansions. No, we're regular people.
Helping regular people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's been fun. It's been fun to connect with other business owners too, using our business pages and kind of follow their journeys and cheer each other on in that too. So that's been really fun. It's not as, I sometimes business pages can be too businessy, where it's like, you don't feel like you can really interact and engage with the account because you don't even know who you're engaging. You know what I mean? That can be weird. So people know when they comment on our photos or, you know, engage with things on our pages that it's us that's responding. And I think that really is kind of cool for them.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it goes back to an age-old theory in sales, right? That they give all things being somewhat equal, people want to buy from who they trust and who they like. And
yes.
If you get them to trust and to like you, we all want to buy from friends, right? That's what we really want to do, because you want to buy from people that you know their son Billy plays baseball. You know, you get to learn those things about your customers, right? And the customers things about you, and it builds a friendship and a relationship as opposed to just a transactional deal. Because once it's just transactional, it's always just one off, right? All you may have is the next order, maybe, if they give it to you. And usually in those scenarios, if it's truly transactional, then you only got the next order if your price is right. Where if you build the relationship type process and you take the time to do that, most people aren't going to sell their buddy Brady down the road for $12 on this deal, right? They're just not, because you're a friend now. You're somebody they trust, they want to believe in, and they know your wife. And, you know, they saw you at church last week, you know, whatever the deals are, right? But I think if you build that, you build the thing people want is that long-term relationships, right?
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, and so that's why it's been fun. I think we've challenged ourselves here to really like put ourselves out there more on our pages, because it can be a little bit intimidating. Even though we do this, you know, digital marketing, we typically are doing it for other businesses. So to do it for ourselves, follow our own advice, you know, it can be a little bit intimidating. So we do, you know, I feel like we understand when business owners are a little bit hesitant to do it. We can kind of speak to our own experience of like, hey, when we put ourselves out there, we had a really good response. And people, like you said, people buy from people, you know, that's really important. And, you know, businesses are built off referrals. So people aren't going to refer someone that they don't like, no trust. They're going to refer someone that they have a relationship with.
Right. Well, I think an area that a lot of people in, as a general a model, if you will. Obviously, I'm a B2B guy, right? I sell to other businesses, but see, I think that's a misnomer, because unless you're many high-end multi-trillion-dollar government deals, or maybe some really high-end multi-trillion-dollar corporate deals, most B2B still is H to H, right? It's still human to human. It's still, at the end of the day, you might be in a $19 million conference room 400 floors over New York City with a guy in a suit that costs as much as some people's home, but he's still a person that's going to ultimately make part of that decision. And the higher the level, I think probably the less it happens. I would agree, but they're still going to make there's going to be some emotion involved in the decision making, and then you later subject that to, that was a good decision because, right? But emotionally, there's still a lot of emotion. Even the bigger the sale, probably the less. I agree, but most businesses, it still comes down to, do I just like the guy? Do I like the product? Do I like the company? Do I just feel good about this, right? And I think that's, and to me, that's what you can get across in social media, probably better than you can in print all day long. Is you get to know that I'm kind of a real guy, and I'm probably going to take care of you.
Absolutely. And I think also that knowledge of, like, if something were to happen, they know that they can, how to reach you. You know what I mean? You're not just a far off person, but like, if they do have concerns or questions about the product or the service that you're offering, you're there, you're there every step of the way, and you're not going to just take off once you have the money. Right.
Well, that's what's good about a small business. It's just maybe 2 or 3 people, and you will know all the people. It's not Target where there's thousands of different employees running it, right?
More personal.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. So we earlier on, we talked about this needing to be a program, needing to be some nuts and bolts behind what you do, not just throwing stuff out there. When somebody, what would typically happen if and I hope 1 or 2 or 3 or 20 or 100 of my friends and neighbors on here will call you guys, but if they liked what you guys do and they know they have a need, what's that look like? Call one. I mean, they're going to reach out on phone or social media or somewhere or another. You guys are going to connect. How that, I don't think is as important. To my question is, where do you guys go from there? To get, does that make sense?
Yeah. I love that question, because I think it's important, because everyone does it a little differently. So we like to always just do a super no obligation, not a stressful, any kind of, contract signed, but just a discovery call with people. And we usually try to shoot for around 30 minutes and kind of touch base on, well, we're happy to go longer, short, depending on people's schedules, and just kind of to hear about that. Like, we're such people. So I just love to hear people's stories and kind of hear, where their business came from, where they want to take it, kind of their goals, their vision, and all of that. And it's really fun to see people light up talking about this business that they've created, right? If they're a brand new business, if they've been around for 20 years and they're just ready to kind of pivot a little bit. Business owners, they love talking about their business, right? And about themselves and their story and everything. So we just love to kind of listen. We take a ton of notes. And through that, a lot of times it'll kind of guide us to, okay, I think you would be a good candidate for this, this, and this. Or I think, a good starting point would be trying this. And kind of starting with maybe like a smaller project and kind of working up to like maybe a full sales funnel and everything for them. And there's some people who just need blogs, right? Or some people that just need, maybe a video done or two. And there's some people that need some ongoing support. And so that's kind of the conversation that we have. So typically gather that information, kind of just like a meet and greet, get to know them, share a little bit about us, but a lot of it's more focused on the business owners and, their background and their story. And then we typically kind of through that put together a proposal and, kind of go over that with them, whether that's through email, another phone call, Zoom call, whatever that works for them. And, kind of, take the next steps if they're ready. And what we've been doing that's I think worked really well is, giving them different tiers of support. So if they're not ready for the full on support, we're like, hey, what if we start with this? Because it's a few steps forward, and some people aren't ready for the huge giant commitment, and we get that. It can be a change, and it can be an investment, but so that's been fun. It's been fun to kind of strategize together, and no two businesses that we've supported have the exact same strategy. You know what I mean? Like it's all very individualized because we're a small business. We have the capacity to really like individualize that, what that looks like for them. And everyone needs, something a little bit different for their business to grow and thrive. And so we kind of love the strategy piece where we sit down after and we're like, go through the notes and we figure out like, what would work really well for them? If they're going to be doing this, what should be their ads budget, or should they be doing YouTube videos, and how often should we, like just kind of talking through it together has been really fun for us. And then presenting that to the business owners, and even if they take our ideas and run with it and don't work with us, doesn't matter, because to us that's a win too, and we love to just still cheer them on. And sometimes they'll come back down the road, or sometimes we'll sign right then and start working together. So
knowledge transfer.
Yeah. And it's just like we just feel good about that, giving them some good strategies, and so it's kind of a strategy call, in some ways too, and giving them a lot of knowledge, and we don't hold back. And I think that's important to just give them, for free, some advice.
That makes sense. That makes sense, because I think you have to find that comfort level for them, and you're better off to just take the one blog and 2 videos a week and become part of their business life, right?
Well,
as opposed to, okay, we got to have this full package that's 19 of these and 12 of these and 4 of these, or we're just not going to deal with you, because they'll probably walk. And they'll be doing that with somebody else. Where if you get that 2 or 3, it might not be as much business as you maybe had hoped for today, but it could be 10 times that in a year, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And we kind of prefer that, because it gives us an opportunity to really get to know them, then their product and service better, and vice versa for them to get to know us, right? I think that doing those small projects really builds the trust too, and kind of we give them a small project and they knocked it out of the park. We'd love to hire them on for something bigger, or whatever that may look like. So it's just kind of, we're along for me too.
I love it. Yeah. Hey, Huffers, love it. So and then I'm gonna let you go for the live, because then we'll come back and do a little chat after here, as you graciously committed. But where'd Hey Huffers come from? I can't figure what that means.
Oh, Huffer is our last name, and she came up with the Hey.
I will say, so the story is a little bit like anticlimactic, but I will tell you where it came from. So when I was building our website a few years back, was writing like a little like bio or something about us, and I put something like, hey, we're the Huffers. And so then as like a placeholder for our URL, I just put heyhuffers in there.com. And then it just kind of stuck. We were kind of like, it's kind of catchy. It uses our last name. And I like that it's kind of like, it's a business, but it's informal enough that people can approach us. Right? Like, hey, Huffers, like, I have a question about this, or hey, Huffers, you're on for this. So it kind of fits us really well. And it just kind of, like I said, stuck, and we've really liked it, because it gives us a flexibility in our social media channel to post about us, right? Because, hey, we're the Huffers. And also, Hey Huffers is our business name. So,
Oh, no, I like it a lot. I think it's very cool. So, all righty. Well, listen, I'm going to have, I want to thank you for coming on, number one. This has been very enjoyable. I love what you guys do, and anything I can ever do, anytime, anywhere to help you guys. I love little, these small businesses getting started. I just think it's awesome. Love the whole social media, virtual video game. And so thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. Wes is gonna bump you back to the green room. Go have a grape and a cherry or something, and we'll be right back, and we'll chat for another few minutes if that's okay.
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Awesome, folks. You bet. There you go, Leslie and Brady, the group, the Huffers. Hey, Huffers. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. These guys are the real deal, and if you need some help in your internet, social media marketing, and reach out to them. They're the real deal, and they'll do a great job for you. So we're going to chat a little bit more after added wins when we get done with this. But real quickly, next Tuesday, thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it, my brother. Next Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern, back to our regular 12 noon Eastern time, I have a very fun guest, a friend of mine who goes back 20 plus years, Randy Floyd, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at ST Fastening Systems, which is my fastener company. Been with these guys 20 plus years. Randy and I go way, way, way back together. And we're going to have a great friend-to-friend chit chat about the fastener industry, the metal and post-frame building industry, 2020, 2021, where we're going. And you're going to enjoy Randy. Randy's the real deal. So that'll be 12 noon next week, Tuesday. So don't miss that one. So until then, make this just an absolutely spectacular rest of the week. And remember, you only get one go around. So live it, love it, and own it. And make this the best day ever. Till tomorrow. Cheers, y'all. Thanks much.